Oxfam International's report, Takers Not Makers, is a doozy. Released for the World Economic Forum, it highlights inequalities rooted in colonialism, a system rigged to benefit the few at the expense of the many. So grab your monocle, because we're unpacking centuries of economic exploitation shaping our world today. Now, you might be thinking that's a big number. Oxfam estimates Britain siphoned off $64.82 trillion from India during colonial rule. Centuries of resource extraction, forced labor and policies kept India impoverished and dependent. Britain built its empire on the colonized, and the wealth benefits it to this day. You might think, well, that was centuries ago. Surely things are different now, but colonialism's tendrils run deep. Oxfam connects colonial corporations to today's multinationals. Remember the East India Company? Their DNA is alive in today's corporations. Same game, different century, exploiting resources, underpaying workers, and dodging taxes with Olympic agility. Let's talk about billionaires. In 2024, billionaires' wealth skyrocketed by $2 trillion. Their total wealth is now $15 trillion. It's like Monopoly, where one player starts with everything. Chapter 4. The Inheritance Club, where hard work is optional. 60% of billionaire wealth is unearned. These aren't self-made billionaires. They were born on third base, convinced they hit a triple. Inherited wealth built on exploitation perpetuates inequality. It benefits the few at the expense of the many. Chapter 5. The gender pay gap. Still a thing. Shocker. In 2024, women are still paid less than men for the same work. Migrant women in high-income countries often find themselves in low-paying, insecure jobs with few protections. Women in the global south continue to be exploited in global supply chains, earning poverty wages while producing goods for multinational corporations. Chapter 6. Global Supply Chains, Modern-Day Colonialism. These intricate networks of production and distribution are the new frontier of wealth extraction. Raw materials are extracted from the global south, processed in factories with questionable labor practices, and sold in wealthy nations at a hefty markup. This system perpetuates colonial-era power imbalances, with corporations in the global north dictating terms and reaping the lion's share of profits. In 1750, India accounted for a quarter of global manufacturing output. By 1900, after British rule, that figure had plummeted to 2%. British policies dismantled India's textile industry, flooding the market with cheap British goods while imposing tariffs and restrictions on Indian exports. Climate change, the gift that keeps on taking from the poor. Colonial powers enriched themselves by plundering the planet and are now most responsible for the climate crisis. And who bears the brunt? The same countries historically exploited by colonial powers. Biopiracy, stealing nature's secrets and profits. Biopiracy is the practice of patenting traditional knowledge and genetic resources without consent or compensation. It's a modern form of colonialism, appropriating indigenous knowledge and resources without regard for their rights. The system is rigged because we designed it that way. We must dismantle these systemic issues. The report calls for a fundamental overhaul, prioritizing people and the planet over profit. It's time for a radical rethink. Don't just get mad, get even more informed. Thank you for joining us in uncovering insights from Oxfam's Takers Not Makers report. Knowledge is power. By understanding inequality, we can dismantle the systems that perpetuate it. Stay informed, engaged, and angry. The fight for a just world requires us to raise our voices and demand better.